Winter was losing its grip, though in the mountains the snow still clung stubbornly to the ground, and in the shadows, ice remained. A certain shepherd owned a thin, lame goat. The poor creature couldn't scramble up the narrow paths or the slippery slopes, so the shepherd left him to graze near the sheepfold. Every evening, the shepherd brought his flock down from the hills or the steppe, and the goat would limp along with the sheep into the pen, where he spent the night. One day, the goat was wandering around the fold, nibbling at dry grass while a dog dozed nearby. Suddenly, a wolf appeared. He spotted the goat but didn't dare attack. He knew the village dogs would tear him apart. The wolf stood for a moment, thinking. Then he calmly approached the goat and drew him aside. "What is it?" The goat asked nervously. "What do you want?" "You shouldn't be grazing here," said the wolf. "And why not? Look at you, you're nothing but skin and bones. I feel sorry for you. I've found a spot where the grass is rich and sweet. You'd fatten up there in no time." The goat thought it over. Maybe the wolf is telling the truth. Why not listen? Perhaps I'll finally shed this weakness, gain some strength, grow hardy. After a moment, he said to the wolf, "And how exactly am I supposed to get fat?" "Simple. The soil here is poor, nothing grows right. Climb that mountain over there. I've just come from that direction myself. The grass is thick and juicy. That's where you should be grazing. I, meanwhile, am heading off on a long journey." The goat considered this. The wolf says he's leaving. On the other side of the mountain, sheep are grazing with a shepherd. I'll wait a little. Once the wolf is far enough away, I'll move up there, eat my fill, and come back with the flock at dusk. The wolf noticed the goat wasn't in any hurry. He grew uneasy. Has the goat dreamed up some trick? He said goodbye and walked off, but hid himself along the path the goat would have to take. As soon as the wolf was out of sight, the goat felt relieved and started hobbling up the mountain. But then, oh misery! He spotted the wolf creeping along behind him. The goat stopped and put his mind to work. He waited for the wolf to catch up and said, "I know what you want. You want to eat me? Well, go ahead. To be honest, I'm sick of this life anyway. But I have one request, wait just a little longer. Let's get to the top of the mountain, then you can devour me. If you try to kill me down here, near the village, there'll be a racket. I'll scream, the dogs will come running, and you won't swallow a single bite. You'll get nothing, and I'll have died for nothing. And I can't help but scream. I've got a soul in me, not a hollow gourd." The wolf thought this over and decided the goat had a point. He agreed. So they began climbing together, the goat in front, the wolf behind. When the wolf saw they were almost at the top, he started picking a fight. "Stop kicking up dust," he snarled. "Quit making so much noise." The goat understood the wolf was looking for an excuse to pounce. So he answered very politely, "Listen, wolf. I'm your prey, your victim, I know that. But you understand yourself, it's safer for you to finish me off up there. So why rush? I told you, I'm tired of living. If that weren't the case, I'd have screamed down below, and the dogs would have torn you apart." "Then walk slower," grumbled the wolf. "And stop throwing dust in my eyes, I can barely see." "Wolf," said the goat, "what dust is there on ice? You're just making excuses." And so they continued, climbing higher and higher. The wolf kept looking back over his shoulder, afraid the village dogs might catch his scent or get wind of his scheme and chase after him. The goat, meanwhile, knew that on the mountain there was a shepherd with his flock. He waited for the right moment. When the wolf turned around again, the goat gathered every last bit of his strength, broke into a limping run, and reached the herd. After that, the goat swore to himself never to listen to strangers again, and, if he ever got the chance, to take revenge on the wolf. The next day, the wolf spotted the goat again, grazing in the same spot as before. "There are many wolves in these parts," the wolf said to himself. "He won't recognize me. I'll go up to him. Maybe today I'll trick him for sure, and this time, I won't let him escape." The wolf approached, but the goat recognized him instantly. Not that he showed it. He pretended to know nothing. The wolf said, "Listen, goat. This land is no good. You shouldn't be grazing here. There's a better place elsewhere." The goat replied, "I don't trust you. Give me proof of your words, and then I'll go wherever you say." "What proof could there be?" asked the wolf. "Go over to that warm tandoor oven. Put your paws on its rim. Swear an oath that this land truly is poor grazing. Then I'll believe you," said the goat. "That's simple enough," said the wolf. He walked up to the tandoor and began reciting his oath. At that moment, the sleeping dog nearby woke up and lunged at him. The village dogs came running, and the wolf was torn to pieces.